5. All right, we'll call the meeting to order this evening. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
As to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, the number 2 item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the July 15th, 2025 meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of July 15th, 2025 meeting.
Second the motion.
Got a motion and a second.
Hayes.
Anything else?
Oh.
We'll go ahead and put to a vote.
Hayes, I'll have to abstain here. Yeah. McLean,
Yes.
Calvin,
Yes.
Mauer,
Yes.
Dees.
All right, the next item on the agenda this evening is a public hearing to consider and vote to recommend approval, consideration and to vote. Recommended approval of conditional use permit for refrigerated warehousing at 610 North Silver Street. I'll entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
I'd make a motion, we open the public hearing.
I'll second.
A motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll put it to a vote.
Hayes. Yeah. McLean,
Yes.
Calvin,
Yes.
Mauer,
Yes.
Dees.
Yes.
All right, public hearing's now open.
So Francisco Della Torre is the owner of El Pacho. He's expressed interest in installing some refrigerated storage units at 610 North Silver Street, which is the old Sonic building there across the street. The purpose of the units would be for bulk storage of perishable ingredients used for their family's restaurants, El Pacho. This use is considered mini warehousing, which falls into heavy retail and service, which is a conditional use in the thoroughfare access zoning district. Delator plans to install 2 walk-in freezers on the property, which will be outside of the existing building, underneath the existing campus. The larger unit will be placed at the rear of the building, and the smaller unit will be placed on the side of the building. So for approval, the conditional use permit application shall be dependent upon the findings that the proposed use fully complies with this ordinance. Applications shall be filed and duly advertised. Public hearings shall be held for this article's requirements. This was posted in the paper. Notifications were sent out to all the property owners within 200. And a sign was posted on the property for the 14 days leading up to. The proposed use shall be consistent with comprehensive plans, purposes, goals, objectives, policies, including standards for building and structural intensities and densities and intensities of use. The lot is zoned as thoroughfare access. According to the comprehensive plan, design requirements provide a thoroughfare access character while encouraging pedestrian and automobile access. The district's intensity accommodates most community, commercial, and business activities. The proposed use shall be compatible with the character of land in the immediate vicinity. Zoning allows for both commercial and residential development. The applicant's lot is next to other commercial and industrial developments, and due to the irregular lot size, shape, and limited building space, the proposed use would be understandable for this property. The proposed use's design shall minimize adverse effects, including visual impact of the proposed use on adjacent lands. The design does not include any lighting to disturb surrounding properties. The larger walk-in freezer will be placed behind the existing building, which will minimize the visual impact on the traveling public and surrounding uses. The proposed use shall minimize adverse effects on the environment, traffic, and congestion, infrastructure, or governmental services. The applicant's proposed walk-in freezers will be placed in an area that minimizes impacts on the surrounding environment. The majority of this lot is existing concrete from the previous use, and the use should not impact traffic, infrastructure, or governmental services. If the planning commission feels that other conditions will be needed, city council may impose restrictions and conditions on the approval of a conditional use, the proposed use under the conditional use, and the premises to be developed or used pursuant to such approval of the conditional use. This action may be performed to accomplish any of the following: to ensure the conditional use is developed exactly as presented in drawings, exhibits, and assertions made at the hearings. Limit uses, reduce density, increase open space, landscape surfaces, or environmental protection to ensure it meets the standards by which it is approved. Limit the length of time a use may exist, or to provide a periodic review of the appropriateness of the use, or provide for elimination of the use. Impose conditions that ensure the general purposes, goals, and objectives of the comprehensive plan and this ordinance are met. Prevent or minimize adverse effects from the proposed use and development on other properties in the neighborhood and on the public health, safety, and welfare. All conditions and restrictions shall be written and given to the developer within 14 days of approval. The developer shall submit a written statement agreeing to the approval of all conditions within 14 days. If no agreement is offered, the applications shall be considered denied. For this use, we don't really have a lot of them to compare it to. It's kind of a unique situation that they're proposing, given the lack of interest in the property. It's been for sale for quite some time. This use seems appropriate. It's going to be kind of an accessory to another business and help them be able to grow and keep going. So staff recommends this conditional use be approved with the following conditions: no overnight parking permitted. Deliveries shall be made off-street and not block any part of Silver Street. A decorative fence or screening shall be installed to screen the units from view. If the intensity of the use changes, the owner shall request an amendment to the CUP. A review of compliance shall be made by the zoning officer to the planning commission 1 year after issuance. If deemed necessary, subsequent annual reviews may be requested by the planning commission. Such reviews are not subject to publication, notification, and public hearing requirements. If the applicant is requesting an amendment to the CUP, the notification shall follow the same procedures as the original CUP. At any time, the city may institute revocation of the CUP for violations of the conditions of approval, expiration, or reasons specified in section 21-225 of the LDO. City shall provide notice to the landowner and the public in the same manner as was provided for the establishment of the conditional use permit. Staff has found that the application is consistent with section 21-220 of the LDO. Conditions of approval are consistent with 21-222 of the LDO, and the application will not be detrimental to the health, safety, or general welfare of the community.
All right. Thank you, Mitch. Does anybody from the public want to speak on this conditional use permit request? Okay, did you receive any written correspondence regarding this?
We didn't receive any written correspondence. We actually had somebody come in today who was within that notification area and express his only concern was the lighting. He lives within eyeshot of it. And he had mentioned with the gas station, there was some lighting spillover and wanted to make sure that wasn't going to happen with this. I assured him that our LDO has lighting requirements that prevent that. And that's how we were able to take care of the gas station. And they weren't proposing any lighting. But I didn't tell them I'd mention it. You guys, if you guys want to add that as a condition, we're welcome to do that. But I did assure them that if it's not in condition, it will still be enforced at a staff.
In that case, since we have nothing else, I will take a motion to close the public hearing.
I would make a motion that we close the public hearing for this matter.
Second the motion, I'm sorry.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Take a vote.
Hayes,
Yeah.
McLean,
Yes,
Calvin,
Yes,
Mauer,
Yes.
Dees.
Yes.
all right. All right, so what's everybody's feelings? Like, got any questions?
No, I think it's a good thing.
looks to me like everything's pretty well covered.
Yeah, they're gonna have like big trucks delivering, like product over there.
I'm not sure. I would imagine that they would have their trucks deliver over there now. Currently, they back into the parking lot there early in the morning and deliver all the goods. And that's why I put that condition in, that they won't have any street parking for loading or unloading. I haven't confirmed with the applicant, but I would imagine they'll probably load up a vehicle and drive it across the street. It's too much of a hill. They aren't gonna be able to dolly it down over there. And if they do store food in there for any of their other locations, then they'll have to truck them there as well. Yes, that is one thing that if we approve it with these conditions, I will be watching out for that street parking for sure.
Okay. Anything else? I'll take a motion. Anybody like to make a motion on this?
I move to approve the conditional use permit for the refrigerated storage at 610 North Silver with the listed conditions.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll put it to a vote.
Hayes? Yeah. McLean?
Yes,
Calvin?
Yes,
Mauer?
Yes.
Dees.
Yes.
Go to city council next month.
all right. The next item on the agenda this evening is another public hearing for the consideration and vote to recommend approval of a conditional use permit for automotive sales at 125 West Peoria Street. I'll make the motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. We'll put it to a vote.
Hayes?
Yes.
McLean?
yes,
Calvin?
Yes,
Mauer?
Yes.
Dees.
Yes.
all right. Public hearing is now open.
For this one, Daniel Chadwick owns and operates JDC Motor Group. The primary function of the business is online auto sales and transportation services. Mr. Chadwick's business model is the acquisition and sales of used vehicles through digital platforms, which must be supported by a licensed office location as required by Kansas Department of Revenue. This office location at 125 West Peoria will serve as an office for JDC's online sales and coordination of transportation services. And I won't bore everybody with the long drawn out explanations of everything. I'll kind of summarize them. For as far as being consistent with the comprehensive plan's purposes, this lot is zoned downtown, which allows for many different types of uses, including offices, which will be this use's primary use. As far as being compatible with the character of land, the applicant's lot is next to other commercial developments as well as multifamily residential. Due to the low level of intensity of the proposed use, staff believes it would be acceptable for this property. far as minimizing adverse effects. The design does not include any lighting to disturb surrounding buildings. The applicant would like the ability to store a couple of vehicles behind the building on this property while they're in between being picked up and being delivered. And also minimizing adverse effects. The applicant's proposed use will minimize adverse effects on all of the above, as its main function will be an office. And the traffic and congestion, the vehicles will be stored on the property, so nothing will be stored out in the street or anything like that. On this one, staff recommends the conditional use be approved with the following conditions. On-site temporary vehicle storage and parking shall be limited to 4 vehicles. All vehicles kept on the property must be kept in operable condition at all times. The last two are the standard ones that go with every conditional use permit. A review of compliance shall be made by the zoning officer to the planning commission 1 year after issuance. If deemed necessary, subsequent annual reviews may be requested by planning commission. Such reviews are not subject to publication, notification, and public hearing requirements. If the applicant is requesting an amendment to the CUP, the notification shall follow the same procedures as the original CUP request. At any time, the city may institute revocation of the CUP for violations of the conditions of approval, expiration, or the reasons specified in section 21 to 25 of the LDO. The city shall provide notice to the landowner and public in the same manner as was provided for the establishment of the CUP. Staff has found this one as well is consistent with 21 to 20 of the LDO, and that the conditions of approval are consistent with that section. And it will not be detrimental to health, safety, or general welfare of the community.
Okay. Anybody from the public would like to speak on this matter?
And the owner is here, if you have any questions.
Okay, I have to, so
My only concern would be.
would you step up to the podium, please? State your name and address so that we've got it on record.
I'm Phyllis Hollinger, and I own the building at 119 West Peoria. And my only concern would be the number of vehicles that might be parked around there. But I believe I heard that it's limited to 4, is
In
that
the back,
right?
yes, 4.
Okay. That's my only concern about it.
Okay. Thank you. All right, did you receive any written comments?
We didn't receive any written comments. We had 2 phone calls on it. One was from the building owner across the street. His concern was that vehicles didn't get parked in his parking lot. And then one from Edward Jones down there kind of around the corner. They were just curious as to what the use was going to be for.
Okay. With that, I will take a motion to close the public hearing.
Second that.
Wait, we don't have it yet.
Motion.
Okay, you got a motion, okay. We've got a motion and a second. Okay.
And not in that order.
All right,
Hayes,
Yes.
McLean,
I had a question or two, or,
you can still ask
Yeah,
them
let's go
after
ahead.
we close public hearing.
okay, yes.
okay,
Calvin,
yeah,
Mauer,
Yes.
Dees.
Yes.
okay. John,
My question would be, coming up the alley behind the building, I have a question if there's really room for 4 vehicles, pretty much parked one behind the other.
Yes, there's plenty of room within their property. They could probably, if they did, bumper to bumper, they could probably do 6 to 8. 4 was just a comfortable number that they could fit in there without being all congested.
The other question would be, is there gonna be any maintenance on these vehicles performed behind the building, or?
No. Everything that we'll have there will be in in running order. That's the only way they could purchase.
Okay,
No service or, at a minimum, we do cleanups or details, and I do that at a different location.
and my other,
I'll tell you what, why don't you come up to the podium? Since you're gonna be answering more than one question.
Okay.
State your name and address
Daniel Chadwick.
and your address,
The business or mine?
your,
21602 West Limestone Ridge.
okay, then, go ahead, John.
and, the only other remaining question I would have that, none of these vehicles would be parked in the public parking lot
No,
across the.
no, everything that we'll have will be on our property. And I kind of spoken to Mitch a little bit about it, plus the previous owner of the building. Given the space that we do have, it'll provide for kind of an angle parking for up to probably 6 or 8, like he said, but 4 would be easily pulled in and out of there without ever getting into the public parking
Okay,
or the street alley.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's,
Only vehicles in the street or public parking lot would be his personal vehicles, or he drives it, drives vehicles that are in transition, but they have a dealer tag, but it's him going to and from.
Right.
the office.
Occasionally I'll have a vehicle with a dealer tag that I might be operating myself, or my personal own vehicles. Which I'm assuming you're okay to park in the street if I need to in my own vehicle.
yeah, that was my only question was the number of vehicles.
Sure.
Providing that you probably would want to park your vehicles there behind also.
Right.
That's all.
Okay. All right, anybody have any further questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Have a seat, you bet. Anybody want to make a motion? Sure. You're gonna make a motion?
Yeah.
Okay. You wanna read the motion, read the word says possible motion, so we've got that.
I move to recommend approval of the conditional use permit for automotive sales at 125 West Peoria.
Do I have a second?
Second that motion.
I have a second. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll put it to a vote.
Hayes,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes,
Calvin,
Yes.
Mauer,
Yes,
Dees.
yes.
That one as well, we go to city council of the.
Okay.
Thank you, Dave, and welcome to come if you want.
Okay. Thanks, Mitch.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Oh, you bet. All right, the next item on the agenda is a request for a deviation from sign requirements at 1309 Baptiste Drive. Right.
So staff has received an application for additional signage at the new San Jose Mexican restaurant. Proposed signage location is in front of the business at the edge of the sidewalk. Section 7 of the land development ordinance provides the signage requirements and limits businesses in a multi-tenant building to having one sign on the overall development sign and one sign on the front of their building space. The additional sign being requested consists of three-dimensional letters, which stand approximately 4 feet tall and are bolted to the concrete in front of the business. The business owner has advised the intention of the sign is more for decoration and something visitors can take a picture with rather than for advertisement purposes. Planning Commission shall use the following criteria when considering a sign deviation. The purpose and intent of the code is granting the deviation in compliance with the general purpose and intent of the city's sign regulations. The intent of the sign regulations is to preserve the desired community character and avoid confusing and cluttered streetscapes. Staff feels that the proposed sign's intention of being something that people can take pictures with and would enhance the community character. Staff does not feel the location of the sign makes the area look cluttered. Impacts on adjacent properties. Will granting of this deviation adversely affect neighboring property owners or residents? Is the sign consistent or compatible with the area as a whole? The addition of the sign will not adversely affect residential areas as there are no homes directly adjacent, and only a couple of homes near this property. And while the sign is brightly colored, staff feels it does not detract from the area as a whole. For safety, will granting of the deviation adversely affect safety? The proposed sign will not adversely affect safety as it does not project into the parking area or block line of sight for traffic. Visual clutter, will granting of the proposed deviation significantly clutter the visual landscape of the area? Staff feels that installing additional sign at this location will not clutter the landscape. Site constraints, are there any site constraints as far as topography, landscaping, existing buildings, or unusual building design that substantially block visibility of the applicant's proposed signs? And there are no site constraints at this particular location that will block visibility of the proposed signs. The lighting, will the proposed sign disturb nearby residential land uses or adversely affect traffic on adjacent streets? This sign should not adversely impact residential property or traffic on Baptiste due to the setback distance, and this sign is not lit. Promotion of high quality, unique design is a proposed sign of high quality and compatible with color, lighting, and signs of the development and adjacent buildings. The proposed signs appear to be of high quality and are unique to this building. For staff recommendation, staff recommends deviating from the adopted sign requirements contained in the LDO to allow the additional sign as proposed. Now we'll add as far as it being compatible with the area. Years ago when our regulations were wrote, Baptiste as a whole being a city entrance area was very locked down on specific colors and everybody matching. As time has gone on, different buildings have changed in color. Got Walmart with blue and orange, and some other buildings that have some brighter colors. So I don't feel that it's so bright and standing out that it detracts from anything like that. And there's a picture of the sign. It was reason that this is all started. They installed it prior to. And I talked to the restaurant owner, and he didn't believe that it was considered a sign since he put it up more for decoration. There's another kind of metal figurine on the other side of that pillar there. And at a few of their other restaurants, they have a lot of the same thing. They have a can't remember the name of it, but they have a identical sister restaurant up in the city, and they have an identical sign to this with the name on it as well.
On a multi-tenant building, where you can have one sign, one sign on the development sign, and then one sign on the building. Does that one sign on the building is if they have their name on the window of their space, is that considered the one sign on the building?
Typically not. The window vinyl, we typically don't consider a sign.
Do they have another sign on the face of their building? Oh,
where Spring of China used to be up on the.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they replaced that with.
They replaced that with that.
Yeah, had they not done that, then this would have been an issue, yeah.
Kind of a tough one, cause
Oh, it's
it's,
And about climbing on it and stuff like that, safety, I don't know. I guess that'd be their say.
Yeah, and so the property lines there. That kind of drive-through area isn't actually city property or anything, but their property goes all the way out to almost Baptiste.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say one thing, it's definitely an arrangement of bright colors. That's kind of a little iffy on the original intent of the entryway into the city.
Yeah. I guess I'm kind of torn on this because I understand that it's not. They're not using it or in their opinion, they're not using it for true advertising. They're using it, take a picture in front of our sign, put it on Facebook, show you've been there, blah, 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 blah. But it still falls under a sign. And I guess the issue I have with it is if we allow them, then if Circle C comes to us and they want to do a sign, another sign, we're gonna get into this whole deciding which one of this type of sign is okay and which one isn't.
Yeah,
That's my concern, I think.
Yeah.
Is more, I like their sign, I understand what they're doing, but if we allow them, then we're gonna be in the position, I think, of every time somebody else wants to do this, we've got to decide, is that a pretty sign, not a pretty sign? Is it for advertising or is it to take, the whole 9 yards? So that's my take on it, I guess.
Could we stipulate like that on a multi-tenant one like this, that only one of those tenants would be allowed to have 2 signs at a time? Is that gonna be too?
We have to rewrite the LDO.
yeah, then we'd be,
A lot of it at the beginning was square footage of the building. Had something to do with the sign size and length.
so for a wall sign, yeah,
Yeah.
it's 10% of the front facade. This would be more of a, if you had to put it into a category, it'd be a ground sign. Which don't have any maximum size.
If they removed the sign off the glass,
It'd have to be off the top.
off the top.
Yeah,
They'd have to take that sign down and then they could use this in its place.
I'm kind of like Steve on that. I'm kind of torn on that some of the more heated battles that we've had over the years has been sign requirements and people coming back. There's been some pretty rough discussions for a number of years. And question arises. We do this and then the other guy down the street's gonna want something different. It's my problem there.
yeah.
This has always been a pretty tight subject
Mhm.
where it was pretty well spelled out by the footage and so forth.
Mhm.
A long time.
You can always put it inside the building.
Yeah, they could, but they're not gonna want to.
Space.
Number one, it's not gonna be visible for them, and number two, it's gonna take up a lot of floor space for them.
Yeah, my only thought with other people wanting to do the same thing, and we get this more and more. Everywhere, is that every business wants to do something that makes themselves stand out and gets them more business.
Yeah.
So the next person down the road, I mean, Circle C has already called and asked if they can do something. I guess you guys just have to be okay with taking each one as a unique case, and
Yeah,
at a staff level, my thought process on it is, as long as it is not detracting from, and that's where it comes up to opinion, but at the end of the day, it's why you guys are city officials, and
yeah, I just think it's opening it up to the Wild West out there. Everybody's gonna come in with a different kind of sign, and then we're gonna be the body that decides that's pretty, that's not pretty, that's colorful, not colorful, all that. And that isn't our purpose. I mean, that, the LDO pretty much spells out what you can have, the size that you can have, how many you can have. And we've pretty much stuck with that over the years, that we haven't deviated from that for this very reason. So that's kind of where I'm at on it again.
And it does limit the walking space too.
This doesn't, this stays. Yeah, there's pillars there and it's in between the two.
Oh, I mean, from getting in and out from the
Just in and
cars.
out of that spot,
Yeah. In all honesty, I don't think you could see it from the road when there's cars parked there anyways. I suppose they could probably put it up, somehow on the front, but. Yeah, I think you get into opinions and nobody's opinions are the same. Yeah. So I just kind of did it and asked for, it just put holes in the concrete.
Yeah. Yeah. Want to make the motion one way or the other?
I move to deny the deviation from sign requirements at 1309 Baptist Drive.
All right, do I have a second for the denial?
I'll second it.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, put it to a vote.
Hayes,
Yeah,
complete,
No,
You're voting
you're voting to deny it.
to deny it.
to deny.
Okay, so
So
you're
yes.
gonna allow?
No, I'm voting to deny.
Okay, so that will be a yes vote, because the motion,
The motion was to
Or
deny, to deny it, not approve it. So your response to that would be, are you agreeing with that motion?
Then I'll change it to yes.
Okay.
Excuse me.
you're good.
Calvin,
Yes,
Mauer,
Yes.
Dees,
Yes.
all right.
just the opposite of way. All right. Next item on the agenda is a design review for painting at 1305 Baptiste Drive.
All right, so this is that same building. The owner of the building as a whole would like to paint the building. As this property is within the city entrance standard area, special design guidelines. Yeah, as provided in 15-20 of the city entrance standards must be met. That was weird. The following building standards shall be applied to the design review of non-residential uses. For materials, masonry materials, including integrally colored texture block, brick and stone with unpainted finishes are required on all street exposures. The use of stucco or exterior insulated finish system may also be permitted. Metal is not a permitted exterior finish material. On Baptiste Drive, the materials should be selected to complement and blend with the high school and hospital. Basic colors shall be earth tones or brick colors. Baptiste Drive area shall use tones that are consistent with the hospital and high school. No important buildings existed as of the date of the adoption of this ordinance. Of the other two city entrances, if the planning commission should review the first buildings in these areas and select a range of colors that can be extended to the rest of the corridor. For style, there is no single style that is mandated for the entrance area. However, building elevations should be sensitive to the scale and style of neighbor buildings. Design themes that reflect the city square band shell should be strongly considered. If a business park is the proposed use, and overall design guidelines should be approved. Staff's recommendation is that while the proposed painting of the bricks does not fully conform to the LDO, multiple buildings in the entrance area have been approved to do the same previously. Staff recommends the approval of the design review for 1305 Baptiste Drive. Attached is a rendering from the applicant, wanting to paint the brick white and paint the roof area black. Kind of a growing trend in new buildings lately.
It is, isn't it?
So white and black do. When I Googled it, it's all kind of subjective, but it did consider white and black earth tones. And they do match the bandstand.
I will start the discussion by saying for 20+ years, we have tried to stay pretty consistent with the color schemes on Baptiste Drive. We've mainly tried to stay, with the exception of three organizations. And those were, well, I'll get back to that in a second, but we've tried to stay with tones in the browns, the grays, kind of the blues. And we've done that ever since this ordinance was put in place, with three exceptions. And those three exceptions were large corporations that have a nationwide presence, that have their own design standards for all of their units all over the United States. And we have three of those on Baptiste Drive. That one of them has some white on it, and one of them has some orange, and some other colors, some blues and that type of thing. But other than that, we've held people over these 20+ years pretty much to more of an earth tone color. Now, I understand white and black could be considered earth tones. But when it was started, it was based off of the hospital and the high school, the tones of those two ordeals, to try to keep some kind of consistency coming down Baptiste Drive and not having multiple colored buildings up and down. So that's a little history for those
I
of you
appreciate
that
it, yeah.
have not been in here, and we've had more than one request to deviate from that we've turned down over the years for that reason. So with that being said, that just kind of brings everybody up to date that hasn't been here a long term on how we got from there to where we are now. So now we can go on further discussion now that I gave you kind of all the history.
And to add on that, the building right next door to this one, the auto dealership, they were the most recent design review I can find for specifically painting a brick building, and not like an initial build. And theirs was gray, like you mentioned.
Yeah. We tried to keep, I mean, they've tried to keep them over the years, or people have painted them over the years. Cream color or a tan or, you know, a yellowish color or a gray or that type of shades as you drive up and down the deal. And the three I'm talking about is Walmart, Taco Bell, and McDonald's are the three big ones that we deviated from because of their national presence. So, but that was just so it's open for discussion. Anybody got comments, questions, observations?
I wouldn't have a problem with the black roof if they would go with maybe a lighter gray, like a dovetail,
Yeah.
French gray.
Not the white.
Yeah,
not
the
stark
white, like just because the building next to it is brown, and then you've got Park Plaza, which is all brown.
Yeah, that's gonna like
And
pop.
that would
if
definitely
that's-
just really,
All the way
It's so bright.
Well, and so
That would really.
I've kind of, all of your guys' comments I've had with the owner previous to this, because he had actually started to prime the building when I got a hold of him to make it go through this. And I explained to him it needs to be earth tones. And he said, well, you know, I want it to be white so it does pop so people see my building. So, but yes.
light gray or
we'll
kind
see.
of off white would kind of still also do
Mhm.
that, like being thin.
Yes, yeah. be a little more subtle.
Yeah, there's different shades of white.
And
So. Anybody want to make a motion on this one or have further questions?
And if you guys would like to at least give me any sort of direction if he does change it as far as what where my cutoff is.
Well, I think, you know,
I agree, like a light gray is a lot
light
more.
gray, or you look at some of there's some cream colors
Mhm.
that are like not white and not yellow. They're kind of a lighter cream color in there. I'm trying to think which building I'm seeing right now.
Yeah.
But there's some of those lighter colors that you
Looks
could put on
More
there
like
that,
stone.
yeah, but the whole idea was so that most of the buildings coming down Baptiste kind of blended together from the standpoint of you didn't have an orange building here and a yellow building over here and a blue building over here and a bright fluorescent green building over here. So that everybody didn't get in this big contest to make my building the
Right,
most
the next.
visible
Yeah.
building on Baptiste Drive, and then you come into town off 169 and it's like, whoa, what is this place? You know, so that's how this all kind of started. And I think the white is just too bright for the entry down through there. Something more muted is more applicable for that building. In my opinion only.
Well, I mean, I've seen a lot of nods, so I think.
I'm just one.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I move to recommend denial of the design review submitted for 1305 Baptiste Drive.
Do I have a second?
A second.
All right, we have a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll put it to a vote.
Hayes,
Yeah.
McLean,
Yes,
Calvin,
Yes.
Bauer,
Yes.
Dees.
Yes.
Do you need to recommend the colors for me?
No, I'm on, that's. Mitch's problem.
That's
All right, how about a community and economic development director report? There, we gotta give you a short title, that's. I think.
I just copy paste from previous.
Okay.
So we're up to 357 permits, it's about 50 more than last week or last month, so still on a roll with permits, which is good. They'll obviously kind of slowly taper off as we get closer to winter, but 3 of those new permits are for houses. Since last month's meeting, so that's still up, which is good. My father's house tiny homes development permit was issued yesterday. So they're able to start the infrastructure development, all the roads, sewer, water, everything but the houses themselves has to be permitted individually. The dangerous structure that we had been going through the process on for the barn at Kaskaskia and East Street. I don't know if I talked to you guys last month about it or not. Our big hang up on it was there were turkey vultures
Oh,
up in it, and they're a protected species. So we had to wait for them they were babies, so we had to wait till they grew up, and I just checked and they were gone. So we issued the notice to proceed on that, so that should be coming down here before long. As well, 209 North Pearl Street, was a dangerous structure that we had started the process on. The owner sold it, so we stopped the process. And the new owners now have submitted a demo permit for it. It's the funeral home bought it. So that, it's the same contractor for the barn, so he's gonna try to do them both about the same time, so that'll be coming down.
oh, yeah.
We've got a new salon going in at, I think it's 1012 North Silver. It's Jones Built Homes building, the old glass shop.
Yeah.
There. It's his daughter starting her first salon, so
Oh,
that'll be coming in right at the end of the month, 1st of September. Talk to the town, which took over for Revive make smoothies and drinks there on Baptiste. They are moving to the square in the building right next to the ice cream shop.
Oh, that's
So,
good.
yeah. So it'll be a good combination there.
Yeah,
Hopefully bring quite a few
get
people
some
in.
more activity on the square.
Mhm.
That's good.
Yeah. And then our permit for 3 new apartments on the square over, Farm Bureau. Got approved and issued. So they're gonna start construction on that as well. So lots of good news around the square.
Mhm.
115 West Wea, also in the area. The bid was awarded to Victoria Loman. Her and I believe her husband, so they developed a lot of existing spaces, do photography. We have Loman Lofts, I think. So we don't know exactly what her plans are for it yet. She was awarded the bid, so we're working on the contract now for that. Be good to get somebody in there, whether she leases it out or I would imagine she'll probably do the tenant finish on it, but 110 East Peoria Street, the church.
Mhm.
Last week at city council, we had to redo the resolution and ordinance to apply on their behalf. They changed their budget and actually upped their budget some, and any change on that affects the grant, so we have to redo everything. So we're looking at, I think, 15 days or so, 15 days from the meeting. Before they were gonna get the application documents together, and another 45, I think, to 60 days before they'll know if they got the grant or not. So hopefully they get it, get a permit going and get that thing all fixed up and
Oh, yeah.
being used. And that was gonna be a wedding venue. Next month's meeting, I don't have anything so far, so as of now, we won't have one. Just got a call today from a big surveying company for a replat of Paola crossings. So they're gonna try to get everything to where we can do preliminary and final plat in one in October. That'll be good. Good thing to get that split up and get some business going in there. So that's all I have.
Anybody have anything for staff? All right. Hearing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn. I'll make the motion.
And it's been seconded, so.
Yeah.
All right. Hayes,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Cowan,
Yes.
Bauer,
Yes.
Dees.
Yes.